Why is it that I have to work 40 hours a week just so I can have a place to live? 40 hours a week makes me $2,000 a month, and my rent is $1,660.
Women said, "Men, we don't want you. Men, we don't need you." But now they want us back. The rent must be due. Today's video comes from Soraya. Her channel will be linked in the description so you can go check her out and support her. Watch the end of the video to fully understand the implications of women now begging men to come back and why men absolutely won't. And now let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
Okay, so when black men who gain success, influential black men who gain success, like rappers, for instance, and they date white women, it sends a message to black boys that black women are not good enough. We are only good enough to support them, to give birth to them, but we're not good enough to marry and share our wealth with. That's what black men are saying when they gain success.
One of the main reasons why some wealthy black men decide to be in an interracial relationship is because they know that they would only attract a certain caliber of women who is only interested in their money and not themselves. Another reason is that some black men were so sick and tired of being rejected by women who look like them when they were in the process of becoming wealthy. So they were not at that finish line yet. They were still working on themselves, working on their careers, going to college, getting their degree. But those women who looked like them didn't want them because they didn't have the money that they have now. Meaning all those women who rejected some men while they were gaining their money and getting their career, now all of a sudden are interested the moment that man becomes who he had planned on becoming all of the time. That is the reason why some wealthy black men decide to be with non-black women. Do you see the shaming tactic that this young woman is trying to use? Besides, why does it become an issue when a black man decides to be in an interracial relationship? Why is it even a topic? Why is it a problem? Why does he have to be called names? Why does he have to be someone who hates black women? That doesn't even make any sense. Besides, why don't we talk about all those black women who are married to white men? Why is it women empowerment when they marry non-black men? It's all about you go girl, black men don't know how to take care of home anyways. How does that even look? To me personally, it seems like some black men have turned away from some BWs because of their personal experiences. But on the other hand though, some BWs seemed like they turned against black men. And here is the difference. Let me just get into this real quick. When you turn away from somebody, there's still a possible chance that you're going to go back. If the other party is willing to talk with you, work things out, negotiate, and maybe even sacrifice. But when you turn against someone, that means you're full of hate and you're always like this. You're not receptive to new information because you're like this. How you're going to receive something when you are in this combative position? You have the need to be right all the time. You are the victim. You're using shaming tactics and all of these things. That's the slight difference. Let's talk about black women who have been married to successful, internationally known, wealthy black men for decades. How do you think it was possible for those women to stay married to those men, be introduced to a certain lifestyle, and enjoy a certain lifestyle? It's not because they were combative. It's not because they were disrespectful. It is not because they were only interested in the man's money. It's not because they only expect that money to support a certain lifestyle so these women can show off on social media that they are on a yacht just, drinking champagne with their girlfriends, spending the man's money. No. These are women who came together with these men way before social media. And they probably don't even have social media today because these women are understanding, they're supporting, they are submissive, they are helping a man to get where he needs to go.
You see, these modern women are masculine, and they make it very clear that they are masculine. And for years, they have boasted about their masculinity while attacking men for theirs. When men are masculine, they call it toxic. When women are masculine, they call it empowered. And you have so many women who are now saying things like, well, they need the right kind of man to put them into their femininity. So that just it shows you who these women are. These are not feminine women. These are masculines. Okay? They have masculine energy, something they have long boasted about. Just because she's wearing a crop top and some Walmart jeans or a Walmart skirt, does not make her feminine. Okay? Just because she dresses like a woman doesn't mean that she acts like a lady, that she knows how to carry herself like a lady. As soon as she opens her mouth, as soon as you feel her energy, you can tell this is not a feminine woman. You can sense femininity very easily. Here's something that you typically do not see from feminine women. Feminine women, not always, but a lot of the time, are not covered up in tattoos. Being covered up in tattoos, more often than not, is a masculine thing. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there are not feminine women who do not have tattoos. There are some feminine women who may have tattoos, and maybe those tattoos mean something to them. But being covered up in tats, that's more of a masculine thing. And for a very long time, prior to the modern day society, tattoos were not very common. And people are going to say, Angry, you're full of crap. People have always had tattoos. I feel like tattoos started to become a real thing during the boomer generation with those hippie scumbags. Prior to that, if you go back to the silent generation and generations before them, they weren't really covered in tats like that. Angry, you don't know anything. No, you're just a disgrace. Most people back in the day did not have tattoos. When I was growing up, none of those silent generation people had tattoos. It's just a modern day thing. Now you have every woman out here walking around covered up in tats, looking like gang members, and thinking that we're supposed to wife them up and put rings on it and, basically pay for what Chad and Tyrone got for free. And that's just not going to happen.
So why don't some modern Western women take notes from a woman such as Denzel Washington's wife or even Samuel L. Jackson's wife? I'm talking about women like them, classy women, beautiful women who stand by their men, going through thick and thin. Is it because it requires too much discipline? Is it because that you may have to be submissive? Not maybe, you're going to have to be submissive. Is it because of that? Is it because women just don't want to be submissive or be disciplined in a relationship nowadays? Of course, it is easier to point your finger at a black man using shaming tactics, having the need to be right, and blaming everything on a black man. That's not the way you are going to be in a relationship to begin with, and that's most definitely not a way to stay in a relationship.
It's showing self-hate, because if you don't love your own mother, you came from your mother, so you should look up to her and worship her as beautiful. But since you don't own your love your own mother, you are worshiping white women, and it sends a message of self-hate.
Now, just to be very clear, y'all, if this was anyone else saying this, they would call it white supremacy. If it was another woman saying something along the lines that of, white men should only stick with white women, or let's flip the script, white women should only stick with white men, people would call that, they would call that discrimination. They would call it, racism. They would call it out. And yet, it's okay because you have this black woman who is saying that if a black man wants to be with a woman of another ethnic background, it means that he hates his mother. One of the worst lies that we were ever told as people of any ethnicity is to stick with people who look like you. There's a very important saying. Many of you will not listen to me. Many of you will ignore me. That's fine. I don't care about you. I care about the ones who want to listen. I care about the ones that want to understand. Not all skin folk are kin folk. Take that with you. Never forget it. You should surround yourself with people who have like minds and like characters, not like skin tones. That is one of the fastest ways to destroy your life. Another thing that many of you have to understand are personality types and backgrounds. Just because you are of a specific ethnicity does not mean that you will get along with people within your ethnicity. It could have to do with the way that you were raised. It could have to do with your various interests. You just may not get along with those people. Sometimes you will not find people you get along with and that you meld with and you connect with until you leave Western society, until you go somewhere else, until you meet people who are different. Or even in Western society, you meet people from other ethnic backgrounds and other cultures, and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel at home in this culture. This culture very much represents me. You know, for me personally, I am not Japanese, but I feel the most at home in Japanese culture. And I know there's a lot of people who are also like that and can say the exact same thing. There are some people, they don't feel at home in American culture, but they feel at home in Filipino culture. Okay? There are people who feel at home in Mexican culture. Don't get me wrong, there are issues in every single culture. Don't put them on a pedestal. But it's up to what you're willing to tolerate. And you will find sometimes that you will go to these various cultures, and the people in the cultures are very inviting and accepting to you, even if they're not inviting and accepting to everyone who may look like you. And it has to do with energy. Because the energy that you put out is also the energy you will often receive back. And I'm just being honest in that. But we are conditioned to believe that we should always stick with people who look like us, and that's how they take advantage of us. This woman is so horrible. Oh, if you go outside, if your ethnicity, you hate your mother. My gosh. See, this is emotional betrayal. This is psychological warfare that they are utilizing to damage you and to condition you to stay within your own ethnicity. Guys, they have nothing left. They told men, we don't want you, we don't like you, we don't need you, we are liberated. And now these men have walked away. Now they can't find these men anymore. Now these men are not picking it up anymore, guys. These women are now in their 30s and 40s and 50s, and they're looking around and realizing the guys are disappearing from society. The guys aren't going out and shopping anymore. Wait a minute. When I go to the grocery store, there's only women here. I don't see men in Walmart anymore. You go to Best Buy. Why aren't there men in Best Buy anymore? Okay, where are all the men? When are you guys even shopping for groceries? A lot of dudes are doing their grocery shopping in the middle of the night. They're going when everyone else is asleep. You want to find guys shopping? Go to Walmart at 5 a.m. Go in the wee hours. Some dudes will go at 3 a.m. Go in the wee hours of the morning. That's when you'll find these men out and about. That's when you'll find these men doing their shopping. That's if they're not using Instacart. Men are increasingly moving away from society. Men are increasingly distancing themselves from society. Men increasingly want to have nothing to do with society. I made a poll recently where I basically just said, I just want to live the best life possible and be as selfish as possible. And I said, who else is with me? Here is the poll. You can see the poll for yourself. And it's written, as a man, I just want to live the best life. As a man, I just want to live the best, most selfish life that I possibly can. Who's with me? And it got 164 votes. 70% agreed, only 20% disagreed, 5% said they don't know, 5% said they don't care. And at the time of recording this video, I had just posted this poll 49 minutes ago and had already over 150 votes, with 70% of responders saying, yes, I agree. I just want to live my best life, my most selfish life. And that's it. Because men don't care anymore. As a result of being told that we have to give to others and be kind, and we spend our lives surrendering everything. Now we're done. We realize that there's no value, there's no reward to it. Oh, you'll have your reward in heaven as everyone else eats well on earth as we suffer. Nope. And we're basically done supporting people who do not like us and absolutely hate us. Like these woke gaming companies and woke media companies. Don't like it, don't buy it, cool. Oh, well, we'll take away everything. We'll take away all your books. We'll take away all your video games and this and this and this. We'll just create new spaces. We'll go read a book. We'll buy physical books. We'll take those away too. Well, we'll get into art. We'll start painting and creating things. Okay, well, then we'll take that away too. Okay, well, if you strip everything away from us, we'll start getting into meditation. Okay? We will start practicing the art of meditation and getting in touch with ourselves and learning how to detach ourselves from this reality and find peace within. And we will live happily and comfortably in a shoebox at the side of the road. So the more that you punish us and ostracize us, the less we will consume, the less we will purchase, the less we will use, the less we will produce. Because women make 80% of consumer purchases, men pay 80% of all taxes. So men are already consuming significantly less than women. And guess what? It's only going to go down from there. Because if we're not producing, if we're like, okay, well, we're not having children, we're not getting married, society absolutely despises us and wants to punish us, we will live in a shoebox at the side of the road. We will live in basically something small. We will live in a tin can. We will have where do we go potty? We will have a bucket and a bag, a bucket and a bunch of bags. And that will be our toilet. We might put a toilet seat on top of it. That's our toilet right there. Some of y'all are like, nah, angry. No, if they push us to this point, you'll be surprised. Either you adopt or die. That's it. And men will adopt. And we will live happily and comfortably wherever we are with the little that we have. We'll make it work. So people don't understand the notion of we will make it work. Guys, men can make it work. And we will lock ourselves and isolate ourselves away from society and let it all continue to go downhill and burn. We will not come to the rescue. And increasingly, oh, you need someone to help. There's a catastrophe. There's a natural disaster. A bridge just collapsed. Oh, there was a major hurricane. People are trapped. We're not leaving our houses. That's for agents of the state to handle. But we don't have enough police officers and firefighters and first responders. We need you guys to step up, men. No, we have no attachment to this. Oh, something's happening. We need you to protect the country. No, we're not coming out. We're not fighting for anything. Go fight for yourselves. Then we'll put you in jail. So you're going to put us in jail if we don't throw our lives to fight for a country that hates us. Yes, then put us in jail. We're safer in jail. Are you sure? We're going to punish you in prison. So you're going to punish us in prison, or we're going to be punished going out to go fight for a country that hates us. So either way, we're being punished. Basically, slaves, either way. We're damned if we do, or we're damned if we don't. So we might as well, choose the option where where we benefit you the least. So we'll go to prison. You can punish us in prison. You can strip away any human rights. They weren't rights to begin with. They were privileges. Okay? Because we live in a country where we have responsibilities, but we have no authority. We have responsibilities with no authority. That makes you a slave. Women, on the other hand, have special privileges. So they operate as agents of the state, and they are given special privileges, while men are prisoners of the state. That's how it is. But the state does not care about men or women. All right? The state doesn't care about both of us. There's a concept of useful idiots. Women think that they're going to have this high status. They thought that with the state. Now many of them are realizing they cannot survive without men. And now they're bashing men, trying to blackmail men on social media, even as M2 V2 is going on right now, and they're B2ing men. So it's more like 1.5. Because again, guys, it looks like the rent is due. The rent is due right now. The rent is due, and they don't know what to do. These women have no idea what to do because the rent is due right now. And they are absolutely panicking. And guys, if you are enjoying the content, then go and check out the Angry Guy Clubhouse. I definitely do need your support to keep this channel going. YouTube has been reducing or even eliminating ad revenue on many of my videos. If you want to help keep the content free and support my work, please consider becoming a paid subscriber in the Angry Guy Clubhouse. Inside, you'll get top expat and password bro travel tips, digital nomad guys, passive income strategies, pop culture and geek culture commentary, and hard-hitting manosphere content. Free subscribers have access to videos, podcasts, articles, and the community chat. Plus, receive the passive income blueprint and digital nomad blueprint just for joining. Paid subscribers unlock even more value, including exclusive guides like the How to Build an Online Business in 24 Hours ebook, wealth building blueprints, and crypto updates. Join us today by clicking the link in the description and take your journey to the next level. Now, if we look further at the poll and the responses, because I think I'd like to check out the responses with you. For this, as a man, I just want to live the best and most selfish life that I possibly can. Who's with me? And again, okay, now it's down to 69%. It'll fluctuate, and it's actually gone up to 212 votes just after showing you guys this just a little while ago, a few minutes ago. So now we have comments from let's say Adam F. So these are the comments from some of the people who responded to the poll. There are 10 comments so far. Selfishness is for the weak. Okay, whatever, bro. Whatever, little bro. Okay, let's leave this here, this comment, because these are simps. Whatever, little bro. There we go. There we go. Whatever, little bro. There we go. Marsh, you have to be selfish as a man, just to be very clear. It's very important for men to be selfish, because if you are not selfish, at least somewhat selfish throughout the course of your life, that's when you end up with a midlife crisis and doing things like purchasing expensive cars, because you've been so catering to others, you never really worried about yourself and didn't realize that others would not prioritize you. They would always prioritize themselves above you. That's the way society works. These men are simps. That's a simp right there. Marshall says, I just want my cut of the pie for my efforts. That's right. I want what every generation before me had. I want my own, to be as I may be, to do as so I desire. A family of my own, land, life, liberty. I want my own and to live mine well. Unfortunately, that's largely been lost in these trying times. And as such, the only option left is to hunker down and keep grinding. Y'all please do well out there. No one is coming to rescue us but ourselves, guys. That's it. Mark says, I call it putting yourself first. I've always been selfless, not selfish. However, you must have something to give. You cannot be an empty vessel and give not much away. After a lot of experience giving now, it's my time for myself first. I need peace now, not drama. If nobody invests in you, you must invest in yourself. And only by putting yourself first then can you ever help anyone else. Avoid the takers, the needy, and greedy charity starts. Avoid the takers, the needy, and greedy. Charity starts at home with yourself. There's a time to put yourself first. It's mark time. My brother used to say it's Frank time. There we go. Okay. And I know I just butchered that, but it was like the grammar in that instruction was a little hard. Jen says, I lived the selfish life already and it made me miserable. You need others to care about, to not just yourself. Yeah, bad grammar there. So not just yourself. I mean, guys, these are people who feel like, well, I was just living by myself and now you need others. Basically, these are people that are not okay with being alone. Okay? They're afraid to be alone. I was there. Trust me, it almost cost me my life. All right? I'll tell you honestly how the mistakes I've made. You have to learn how to be alone. You have to, as a man, you have to learn how to be alone. Once you learn how to be alone, you can literally see how people are taking advantage of you, how people are using you, how people are leveraging the fact that you don't want to be alone against you. That's what women do. They make you pay for their presence. They tell you they don't bring anything to the relationship, and anything that they have is theirs, and what you have is also theirs. And if you're going to build in the relationship, it's going to be from you, not from them. Their purpose is not what they bring. Their purpose is simply to be there. Their presence is enough. You can figure out what they bring to the relationship, but don't ask them what they bring to the relationship, because they are the table and you're not too smart. A man who asks a woman what she brings to the relationship is not too bright. But what about when a woman asks? That's different. Do you see the hypocrisy? You have to be a fool, all right? You have to be an absolute fool. Jen says, I lived the selfish life already, and it made me miserable. Listen to me. There's a difference. There is a difference when it comes to living for more than yourself and living for others. They're not one and the same. You can live for more than yourself by living for God. You can live for your purpose. But do not live for others, because the others will always betray you and they are not living for you. Your source of happiness should never be other people, because people are crap. Okay? It's just the honest to goodness truth. If you can barely trust your guys, sometimes I feel like I can't even trust myself. And there are people who will say things like, if you can't trust yourself, you need to go and do some self-reflecting and blah, 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 blah. But sometimes we make mistakes and you feel like you cannot even trust yourself. How can you trust others? This is how I've almost destroyed my life. When I cannot trust myself, I put too much trust in others and they betray you. And I should have trusted myself. Even if I made mistakes along the way, I should have trusted myself. I should have done my taxes myself. I should have been micromanaged everything myself. I should have been on top of everything myself. This way, I'm accountable for everything. But guess what? Because I'm going to be accountable anyway. Okay? This way, I'm responsible for everything. And I have to oversee everything. But guess what? Anything that happens, I'll know about it. Don't think that just because someone is an expert, just because someone is a certified tax preparer or has this degree or whatever, that means that they're gonna be out for in your best interest and doing your taxes right. Don't think that these people won't steal from you. I'm giving you an example. Don't think because someone is a doctor they have your best interest at heart. Okay, they don't. It doesn't matter. Listen to me. It's notoriously hard to sue these people. Notoriously hard to sue these people. And that's if you're still around. And then the scraps that you get after they destroy you, come on. Listen, people in general, human beings will always betray you. Don't trust them. Trust God and trust yourself. Learn how to trust yourself and forgive yourself for your mistakes while holding others ruthlessly accountable. Kitten says, most selfish. There's got to be a better way of putting that. Self is important, but you don't want to alienate the rest of humanity. Listen to me. The rest of humanity doesn't give a crap about you. Let me make that clear. This is the reason why it's so important to look poor. That's why it's so important to look poor. Do what the Japanese do. The Japanese are polite, but the Japanese are not kind. The Japanese, someone could fall onto the tracks and there's a train coming and there'll be a bunch of Japanese people standing there and they won't even try to pull them up. They will not get it. They will not interfere in someone else's business and situation. That's how Japanese people are. I'm not saying it's perfectly like that. I'm not saying in every situation that's what will happen, but that's how most of these people are over there. They'll be very polite as you are getting hit. They will not come and rescue you. If it's a police officer, if it's their job to do that, then they may intervene. But if it's not their job, if it's just like the typical Japanese citizen, they will not run to your rescue. Not like Americans, not like New Yorkers. No, they'll watch you go down, and they'll basically, and then on top of it, it's a culture where you basically just created a problem for these people because now the train is going to be delayed and they're going to while they're cleaning you up off the track, and now these people won't be able to get to work on time, and so you just created problems. So that's really what we should be focusing on. Be polite, learn how to dress poor, okay? So you dress just well enough so people don't look at you like a bum, but just so poorly that no one wants to even really engage with you. You don't look like a person that has a lot of money. You don't look like a person that can be targeted or should be targeted. All the while, you're stacking that paper and you can go around society and live comfortably. Once you get over the need and necessity to have a woman, everything changes for you as a man. It's true. And I'm not telling men they have to go and become celibate, but what I will say is that I don't blame men for becoming celibate. I think that demanding that every man be celibate, though, is a bad idea because then you're pushing men away. I see a comment from one of my subscribers. Not all boomers love BlackRock. 99% of boomers love BlackRock. BlackRock is an investment company that basically controls most of the world around us through the way that they force companies to basically enact woke policies and follow follow specific political agendas for their own gain. But yeah, I've talked about this in another video. Maurice says, definitely angry guy. Definitely. Pete Fish says, where's the long boy mount? What? Chris says MGTOW. I mean, there you guys have it. There you guys have it, you know? We have some guys who are like, yeah, miss me with that simp stuff. I'm just going to live my best life, you know? And it's already about 243 votes. After 1 hour, it's already back up to 70%. But that slipped down to 69, now back up to 70. All right, 70% agree that they just want to live their best lives, their best, most selfish lives, and that's it. Only 22% disagree. 22, 4% don't know, 4% don't care. All right? Only 22% disagree with that. Most men, the vast majority of men right now, that number is only going to keep going higher and higher and higher as men realize that they're dealing with a society that hates them. That 22% that disagrees, those are the simps. Those are the simps right there, guys. Those are the men that want to take advantage of us and use us for our value. Those are the idiots, all right, that haven't learned their lessons yet. Those are the scumbags right there. That 22%. Those are the punks right there that need to be held accountable. All right? We have to start holding these simps accountable. We have to start disciplining these simps. They have to get it, all right? They have to get it. These are the men responsible for our pain and suffering. All right? These are the people who are responsible for all the horrible things that have happened to us. All right? Stop blaming women. Stop blaming feminism. Hold these pieces of crap accountable. Hold these individuals accountable. Hold the simps accountable. They are scum of the earth. They are lower than the lowest, than the filth of the earth. They should be cursed by God. All right? I pray to God. I cannot tell him what to do, but I can ask of him that he curses these people, that he humiliates these people, that he makes them destitute, that their days will be filled of suffering and pain for what they have done. The simp is a detestable, sleazy piece of crap. It is filth of the earth. Guys, these people are now finding themselves in states of poverty and destitution. Women who said they did not want us and did not need us are now saying, men, we want you back. And they're trying to use humiliation and a variety of different tactics, including emotional blackmail, to get us back. Do not do it. What do you think regarding all of this? Women saying things along the lines of, if you desire a woman of another ethnicity, then that means that you hate your mother. You hate your mother and you hate women who look like you. Let me know your thoughts. We'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA. Men walking away, and cheers.